Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hit the subscribe button because I am going to be doing a giveaway to show my love and appreciation for everyone that hit that subscribe button. And so I'm honored to have as many people as I do. And so once I hit 500, since I can't go live, I am going to do something for the ladies and gentlemen in this group. So I will do a video, and on that video, I will tell you what to comment down below to enter. And for the girls, you're going to get 8 sets of my fabulous stick-on nails, 100% real nail polish. And for the boys, they're going to get something of equal value, which is a scrambler, a laser radar detector. So super exciting. We are very close to 500, you guys. So I just wanted to give that away as my way of saying thank you. And then once I hit 1,000, I will be able to go live. And on that live, everyone that comments will be entered to win this awesome clear proof acne system. Now, if you have clear skin, great. Then it's Christmas time. It is approaching us, and you can just give that away as a present. It is worth $45 in retail. So, and the nails, you get 9 sets for $40 because you get a free set, but I'm just giving away 8 of them. So it is $40 value, and then this is a $40 value. So thank you so much for your love and support. I wanted to start that video out with that and then tell you that this chapter is really complicated. The author got it right out of the reports from the FBI and stuff. So the discovery that we all read, and I know most of it have read the well over 1,000 pages of the discovery report. But for those of you that hadn't, this chapter is pretty much for you. And she does, before she goes into the text, starts out by saying that Saturday night in Arizona that some of Shanann's friends had talked about with her how they thought that Chris might be cheating. And what did she think about that? And so they even went as far as having one of Shanann's friends call the babysitter and ask her how the girls were, because they were checking to see if Chris was home. It was well after an hour of her getting that charge on her phone of him using the card for the $62 that they all thought was too expensive. So she was sitting there talking with her friends in their hotel room, and this is what their friends are saying that she was saying that night. And so that when he was not home, they really thought that he was cheating on her. And so she went back to her room and she talked to Chris, but she had decided that she wasn't going to grill him about anything. And this was odd to her friends because she told them this, and they just found it was odd because normally she couldn't hold back, that she just let people know what she thought. And so they thought that that was strange, but they did say that there was no talk of separation from Shanann before she left Arizona, and that she had told them that Chris had agreed to get counseling. And so they thought that he was this great guy, but later on they told the police that no one else could have done it, that Chris was the only person that really had access to Shanann. And so the other friend, I don't know if this was Nicole or if Chris had this same tone in his voice. He could have told the other friend not to call the police too. But this friend, she doesn't say if it was Nicole Atkinson because we know he told her not to call the police. But maybe he told another friend too. Who knows? It just says that one of them said to the police that they remembered Chris's voice distinctively when he was saying not to call the police. And that another friend had told the police after the murders that she and her husband stayed at Shanann and Chris's house from May 24th through May 28th, and that he had never pulled his truck into that driveway, and that she offered to move her car out of the driveway when he got home from work so he could put his in there, but he said that Shanann never let him park in the driveway because of the oil from the oil fields. And so the friends knew that Shanann would have flipped out on him because he would have woke up the girls going out of the garage. So when the garage door opened, the girls would wake up and they were light sleepers, these friends are telling the police. So there is no way that Shanann was inside sleeping like he said she was. And so they all told the police that they had a gut feeling that Shanann and the girls were dead. They told them that very early on. And so they started sending the police all these screenshots. And so this is how the text messages go that the police had. I'm going to tell you when they were sent, who's talking, and just read you from the discovery, just like she has it in the book. Until we're finished, because basically all of them are, the rest of the chapter are just text messages. So you kind of have to focus, and so do I. So the text messages start on July 9th. Remember, Shanann is in North Carolina, and this is right after the first time Nikki went to their house in Colorado on July 4th. So I'm sure that Chris was starting to act very cold towards her. And so this text message begins on July 9th, and it is the friend asking Shanann about the post about Celeste's allergies and the argument with Cindy to the tree nuts. And then Shanann replies and tells her all about the disagreement, and that her mother-in-law just has no regard for her child's allergies. And then Shanann says that Cindy has had it out with her for 8 years now. And Shanann also says, same day, July 9th, that Cindy acts very different around Ronnie and Jamie. And that right after she says that Cindy thinks that Jamie is the golden child, and so are her kids. And then Shanann also says that Christopher is chopped liver, and he's always been that. And then the friend replies back, why doesn't Chris confront his mother? And then Shanann says that and then that's it. That is the end of July 9th's text. So the last thing was the friend asking why Chris doesn't confront his mother. And then it skips to 6 days later, and it is on July 15th. And so this was after the birthday party for Cece. And Shanann texted her friend and said, I'm home from Celeste's birthday party, and Cindy and Ronnie and Jamie were a no-show. And this is July 15th. And then Shanann says that they are out of their lives and the kids' lives. And on that same day, Shanann says she wants to block them all. And then right after that, the friend responds, again, same day, July 15th, that she should keep them on Facebook, but not talk to them or make sure that she's not around them. And then Shanann says back she don't ever want to see them again. And then it skips 2 weeks ahead to August. And it's August 3rd. And remember, Shanann's still in North Carolina. And the friend says, hey, are you getting all my messages? And Shanann says back that she did, but it's been a rough day. And then the friend says, why? And the author says that they discuss a home that the friend does not want to be in for much longer, and that she didn't want to be there longer than a month because she didn't want to put them out. And this is vague. Nobody knows what this text is about. But then Shanann says back that they would not put them out, and she can't explain right now in text, but it's not a good time. And again, this is still August 3rd. And then 2 days later, on August 5th, Shanann sends text to Chris about the incident in North Carolina between her and her mom. And not her mom, between her and Cindy. I'm so sorry. So she sends this text to Chris talking about what went down between her and Cindy. And she says in the text that she's not sorry for what she said to Cindy. And she's a mother and she loves her children. So she addresses the distance between her and Christopher. And she says from the day that she left, he's never said that he missed her. And she said that something has changed since she's left, and that maybe he was much happier alone, and that's fine. And then she said, you can be alone. And then she said that he has failed to acknowledge the pregnancy or her feelings. And that the first trimester is the scariest and the most dangerous, and that she could lose her baby all the way up to 40 weeks. Now, this part right here breaks my heart, because if Shanann just would have had a little tiny little more of an idea, like right here, she says that she's going to be okay and that's fine if you want to be alone. And I just wish she would have left him right then and there and like proved a point and just, well, I'll show you, and stayed in North Carolina with her babies. Of course she didn't, but here people are always saying that she didn't, she didn't ever try to stand up for herself, but clearly in this message and this one time she did. Like, she was trying to save her marriage, and so she didn't have as much clarity as she normally would. And right here you see just a little glimmer of it, and it just makes me so, so sad. And so she says to him she's not going to be treated this way, and that she wants him to have the balls to protect his family, and that she deserves a gold effing medal for the way that she handled his mother, and that no one stands up to his mom and dad, and that Ronnie is just as guilty for not doing anything. And she says that she wants him to stop sharing memories of the grandchildren, and that she is their mother and she will protect them. And she has enough to worry about in the world than to be worrying about family. And so then this next text, they don't know what date it was sent on, but it was Shanann telling a friend that that's what she texted Chris. And she says she texted it to him in the middle of the night, and the friend asked what Christopher said. And Shanann said that he said absolutely nothing. And then she said that he came back and said that he loves the kids. And then he asked Shanann if the kids could come see his parents. And she told him no, that she was going to stand firm with this, that she wasn't changing her mind, that they had not made contact with her in the last 4 weeks that she was there, and that they did not come to Cece's party. And so they didn't even contact her on Cece's birthday to tell Cece happy birthday from the grandparents. And so the friend replied that she was shocked that Chris didn't say a word, and that he needs to open up and talk to her, and he needed to clear the air, and that they definitely need to work on it. And she tells the friend that she's been trying, bless her heart, that she's been trying to talk to him for 4 days, and he says nothing in return. And she says here that it's okay, that her friend asked her, is it really okay? Is it what you want? And Shanann says it's not, but she was not going to live like this. And that she wasn't going to be ignored and not loved. And I just so wish she had the strength. Oh, again, this is all still on August 5th. And so the friends suggest that they talk to somebody when they get back to Colorado. And that it's not worth throwing everything away, because she believed in them pretty much. And Shanann tells the friend that she can't fight alone, that she feels like she's the only one fighting for the marriage. And that she needs a man, again, that has balls and will protect her family. And she says he's a completely different guy than who she met 8 years ago. And she said that it would not change a thing, that she feels like she's a saint for not telling his mom that she is a narcissist, stupid B-word. And that they were done, and that they were never coming back. So then on that same day, her and her friend discussed seeing each other on Friday, and that they would split the room in Arizona. And then also on the 5th, Shanann said that she was dizzy and lightheaded and nauseous. And she says that she has not been able to poop in weeks. Now, Chris has already been there for 4 days. and I believe that he was putting the oxys in her balance. Okay, they are capsules, they can be opened up. And so I believe that to be true. And I believe that he was drugging her the whole time he decided not to have the baby, and that he put some in her capsules on the way to when before she left. So even if he didn't, the whole time he was there in North Carolina, he was giving it to her. And so this proves that she was taking oxys, because let me tell you something. When I was taking oxys, I was constipated, like Shanann's talking about, for weeks on end. I was not regular. I know this is TMI, but that one oxy would not constipate her like that for weeks. It just wouldn't. But more than one would, multiple oxys would, continual use of oxys would, and that would be Oxycontin or oxycodone. So I'm telling you, Shanann was given more than that one. Now, everything that I said is speculation, and I don't know if it's true, but what I do know is true is that he gave her more than the one he is admitting to. He also admitted to giving her one earlier in the book, the day of the murder, which I firmly believe he did, or she would have fought back. But I honestly think, and it's only my personal opinion, that he just kept doing it because she didn't miscarry the first time. So then Shanann sends a screenshot to her friend after she says the "see you in Arizona and we'll split the room" of her flight itinerary. And then on August 10th, she flies from Denver to Phoenix, Arizona. And then on August 12th, she departs Phoenix. And then the author jumps back to August 6th. Again, I don't know why. She said there's a do not disturb driving text to Shanann's friend. But then Shanann replies that it's not her driving, it's Chris. And that they were heading to see his grandma, and that she was taking the girls and he was going to his parents. So the girls were not going to his parents. And the friend asked if Chris was going to talk to his family, and she replied, "Who knows? You can't protect someone you're not in love anymore," implying that Chris wasn't in love with her and that he was never going to protect her. And then she said he doesn't have the balls. And then her friend says that his parents don't love him. And that he wants them to love them, and that he really wants their attention so much and they're not giving it to him. And that he is seeking his friend's approval. And then Shanann tells her friend that he is so cold and not the guy, again, that she met 8 years ago. And on that same day, on August 6th, the friend tells her that she talked to her husband and he wanted to talk to Chris, but he wasn't going to because he knew that he wasn't supposed to know. And I wish that friend would have talked to Chris so much. I wish he would have just been like, "You know what? I don't care. I'm calling anyway. This girl is pregnant. Like, you don't treat somebody like that." And I wish that boy would have called him. And I wish that this little moment of clarity that Shanann had, that she would have just been like, "You know what? This dude is not worth it." But she loved him. And we all know how blinding love is. And it clearly shows she loved him. And so Shanann texts, "I told him I don't know who he is, and that he was not the person she left 7 weeks ago, and that 7 weeks ago he would have answered her a lot differently." And she asked him why he was married to her, and he said it was because he loved the kids. And she was very upset that that's all he could think of in that moment. And she said, "Why did you marry me?" And she said, "Why are you still married to me?" And she said, "So you only love me because I'm the mother of your kids?" And she said, "You're not in love with me." And she told him that she thought he enjoyed single life so much that now he wanted to destroy his family. And she thought that he preferred to be alone now. And that they weren't in love with, that he wasn't in love with her anymore, but he used to be madly in love with her. and that if that love was real, he would have found a way. And she said that he responded back to all of that, to her pouring her heart out to, I don't want to lose the kids. And she said she walked away in tears. She couldn't take it anymore. And she said if he was done and don't love her, then don't work it out. And that he was not happy anymore and he was only staying for the kids. And she told him, I need you to tell me. And so she sent the screenshot to her friend. And she said she didn't know how he fell out of love with her in 5.5 weeks. And that it had been going on that whole time. And why did he plan another baby with her if he was not in love? And kids don't deserve a broken family. And she said that, again, when he left, he couldn't keep his hands off of her. And she said that when he showed up, she had to practically ask for a kiss in the airport. And she missed the smell of him. She missed watching TV with him. She missed staring at him. She missed making love with him. She missed everything about him. She missed his touch, his hold, his kiss. They're making love, his smell, his laugh. And she texted him the previous night. She could not take it anymore. And she told her friend he's not good with conflict and he avoids it at all costs. And he was better at writing his feelings. So that's why she wrote him that love letter. And that she planned to see how he was that night. And she told the friend that she told him life was about making hard decisions. And that he can't fight with someone that he doesn't fight for someone he does not love. And so she needed him to step out of his comfort zone and defend and protect his family. And she said he responded with, he knew. And then on August 7th, the friend asked Shanann how Chris was after his parents' house. And she texted him back. It was a long story. Text her back. And that she was on her way to the airport and that she would call her tomorrow. And then on August 8th, Shanann's friend sent a photo of the house. Shanann's texted her friend and sent a photo of the house for sale. And they discussed mortgage issues because her friend had a foreclosure. So she was trying to get advice from her friend. And she also told her friend that Celeste was 37 pounds and Bella was 40. And her friend asked about the ultrasound. And this is still on August 8th. Shanann replied, he said that they were not compatible and he refused to hug me or hold her hand. And she thought that the baby would fix his feelings. And at that point, he refused couples counseling. And then the friend said that that was a load of shit. And Shanann, oh, I just said a bad word because I read it. I'm so sorry. That was a load of you know what. And I read that, I promise. Oh. Okay, so let me focus. This is why I knew this would be hard. Okay, and then she said she had time. He had time to reflect on his feelings and a few months, and Shanann did not get it. She said he never called her during these weeks, and she told her other friend that she wants to know what changed. And that there were no signs of anything being wrong. And that they were having sex all the time. And talking and going places and doing things. And what did he not feel anymore? And then Shanann's friends asked her. Or she asked her friends, how do I make him compatible again? And the friend asked if there was someone else. And Shanann said that Chris says no. And then Shanann asked if she could call and talk to Mark. And her friend says she can, and she apologized and said that Bella came into her bed and didn't even realize that Chris was gone. And she thought that Bella sensed her pain. And on 8/12, in Colorado time, Shanann sends a list of friends to her, or a list of counselors to her friends. And this was the night before the murder, you guys. So that was her last text that she sent out, was the list of counselors. Because we all know Chris agreed to going to one. And then on the 13th, her friend texted her asking her how she was doing. And there was no reply. And then her friend texted telling Shanann she's worried. and there's no reply. And those were at 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the group text started between Shanann, Nicole Atkinson, and one other friend. And the friend texts Shanann, and another friend asked, would they still be her friend if she lived in Boulder? And this was on August 8th. She goes back, the author, after talking about how Shanann's not responding on August 13th to these text messages, she flips to the group text on August 8th while Shanann is alive. So it's you have to like kind of pick this up, or the book is confusing. So this is a group text that Shanann is in. And so a friend asked Shanann if they were going to be upset, still her friend, if she moved to Boulder. And they talked about that back and forth for about 6 texts. And then Shanann asked her friend to tell her the gender of the baby, that she needs good news. And so they arranged a time for her to tell Shanann in person. And the other friend wants to FaceTime during. So Shanann tells her friend to come early, that she gets up at 6. And then her friend asked what time Chris leaves, and she said 6. And then Shanann replies with she needs sex. And then she says, come whenever you want, just not 11. And the girl says, why not 11? And then Shanann replies, that's too long. And then they send the laugh emoji, and they agree upon 7:38. So Shanann texts one of her friends that there was no reveal party and it was canceled, and tells them not to slip it on Facebook. She doesn't want anyone to know right now because she doesn't want Chris to know. And that she wants him to want to know. And so the friend replies, F him. And then says, yeah, I said it. And then Shanann replied, please no, he doesn't deserve to know. He doesn't even want it. And then they call him a jack, you know what, and a effing liar. And she says that he was the one that said it would be great to have another one, and he wanted this. And then she says, you don't get me pregnant and not love me. And then the friend encourages Shanann, saying that she is one of the strongest people she knows and that she'll get through it. And then Shanann replies, F him. That she's nowhere near perfect, but she does love him unconditionally. And she says she gives her all, and that she is such a great mom, and that she is more than 90% of the women out there, and that this sucks so bad because she does love him and his flaws. And then they encourage Shanann again, and then Shanann replies that it was a total slap in the face and a stab in the heart, that she can't afford to live alone in Colorado. And they encourage her again. They both told her that they loved her. And then they start talking about the friend and her husband moving in the house with Shanann. And Shanann says that the house is in Chris's name. And so they discuss court and that the court would make them sell the house, and that Chris wouldn't just get it. And then they encouraged Shanann again. And then she replied that she was master, you know what, and that it was a great stress reliever, and that she was with the laughing emoji. And then Shanann said when she asked him for a hug and to hold her tonight for a minute, that he said he could not right now. And she said that he's not there right now. And then she sends the screenshot of what appears to be her texting Chris. And then it says, do you want to find out with me tonight on the baby's gender? That's what Shanann texts Chris. And Chris replied, yes. And then she loved his reply with that heart emoji. And then she said, please take 5 minutes today to tell me how you're feeling. I love you, Christopher, more than you know. And so she texted that she offered him this morning and told her friends that she needed them to work and that he was wanting to know. And since he was wanting to know, that she was willing to wait till he got off work, and asked a friend to put it in an envelope, and that she would love to still see them. And that is the end of chapter 15. That was the hardest chapter of the whole book for me to read to you guys, just because she just kind of took it from Discovery and put it there. It was the timestamps and everything exactly how we read it in Discovery. And so it wasn't really written out. But thank you so much. And I should be able to load one more video today. Bye.